Yes, yes, yes. It's the Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And we are live. Okay, let me just adjust my settings. Do not adjust your set. This is not a test. This is real. Hold on. Let's get out of this. Let's stop sharing that. Oh, let's get the banner up. One thing at a time. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let's get this up. What's that? We good? Boom. Save and show. That's a long banner. OMG. Okay. Uh-oh. What did you do there? Mr. Red Gloved Militant up in the building. Mr. Coates. Mr. DT3. Up in the building. The Leon Figures. The Aaron Daly. And of course, the Mr. H Money. Mr. H Money, come back. The people want to talk to you. You got some people in the congregation who want to have a little word with you. Come on back. Come on back. Okay, where are we? Let me make sure the sound is all right. Let's do the sound check first things first, and then we get into this thing. Where are we? How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do it? Okay. Dang. All right. Okay. Very good. What's this? All right. Let's kill the sound, kill the noise, and let's see what we got. Okay. Very good. What's this? All right. Let's kill the sound, kill the noise, and let's see what we got. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Okay. So where is? Let me make sure everything is correct and copacetic. Okay. We're good now. We're good now. Okay. So it's a bank holiday over here in the UK. The Fight Doctor is up in the building. It's a bank holiday over here in the UK. So slightly earlier start than usual. We've got lots to talk about. Lots to talk about. People seem to be in on the Tank Davies thing. There's a lot of talk about the Tank Davies. How good is he? Is Tank Davies? Hold on. How did this start? Tank Davies, the face of boxing. Okay. Okay. I will go there. We can start the show on that hypothesis. Tank Davies fought with King Ryan Garcia. And yeah, by all accounts, they had a good turnout. What is it? 1.2 pay-per-views. 1.2 million pay-per-views. What are they saying? 20 million at the gate. 1.2 pay-per-views, 20 million at the gate. Those are good numbers. Those are good numbers. I don't think Wilder and Fury came close to a 20 million gate. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I think what was their highest pay-per-view? Wilder Fury highest pay-per-view. Was that Wilder Fury 2? What was that? Something like 650,000 pay-per-view. Shy of 700,000 pay-per-view. So the face of boxing. Who's bigger than him in the USA in terms of pay-per-view buys? I mean, pay-per-view buys. Was it Ryan? Was it Tank? Was it Tank Davies? Was he the guy that led the pay-per-view charge? I don't think so. I think it was King Rye. Catcher in the Rye, King Rye. His 10 million Instagram followers, with his high profile social media. King Rye, hold on. I've not got him somewhere up in there. So I think that's what it is with King Rye. I think he's a social media star, much like KSI, Jake Paul, and them cats. I think that's what it's with. That's what it is with King Rye. And I've just heard that he's parted ways with Goosen. Where is it? And I see an article, parted ways with Goosen. What's all that about? So obviously, I think King Rye was a big part of that. King Rye was the drive. He provided the drive. He provided the social media attention. I think it was King Rye. So the face of boxing, I don't know, man. I don't know. I doubt it. Well, I know it's not the case. Where are we? It ain't King Rye. I mean, it ain't Gervonta. Don't get it twisted, Gervonta. I do rate Gervonta as a boxer, but he's had some very mediocre. Showings. How do I get this enlarged? How long does this thing last anyway?
See, let's get right to the second round.
So I don't think he's the guy who's driving the numbers. Is he talented? Hell yeah, he's talented. Is he a slick boxer? Hell yeah, he's a slick boxer. Do I enjoy watching his fights? Yes, I do. I do enjoy watching Gervonta Davis. As far as the slickness is concerned, as far as the setting traps is concerned, you know, he gets his fair share of flack. But I don't think you can deny the man is a talented boxer. Very much so. So is Tank Davis? That's the hypothesis. As a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, what the hell am I doing? We have the technology. So let's use it. Let's ask the question in the form of a poll. If you think I'm typing slow, it's because a significant number of these keys on the keyboard, writing on the keyboard, I've used it so much that disappeared. Is Tank Davis face of boxing? Question mark. Yay, nay. Yay or nay. It's very simple. Boom. There is it. There it is. It's up there now for your delectation. The poll is up. Is Tank Davis the face of boxing? OMG. OMG. Hold on. Let's have a look at this. What does Rafi say? Well, come on now. Don't you have a cat over there in the States? Go by the name of Canelo. TKO Boxing up in the building. How do you do? Let's have your opinion. What am I doing here? Oh, yeah. Copy that. Paste that. Okay, so we're good. Tank Davies. Is Tank Davies the face of boxing? I say, don't you have a guy over there called Canelo? Canelo. Fighting Jack Ryder. When is he? When is he fighting Ryder? Wasn't it? Is this Saturday? This Saturday? I do believe so. So no, he's not the face of boxing, but he's a talented boxer. I do enjoy his fights. You are guaranteed action, and you're almost guaranteed a knockout too. So there are questions. About. I mean, he's missed weight more than once. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's missed weight more than once. Davies. Let's pull up his stats. Let's have a look at his stats. There's probably only one Gervonta Davis. I don't think I need to qualify it any further than that. The hell's this? Get on out of here. Get on out of here. Gervonta Davis. Let's share that. Poll is up. Get your votes in. Get your drinks in. Gervonta Davis. 93% KO ratio. So if you want to see a knockout, you're highly likely to get one with Gervonta Davis. I've been talking, muted. I've been muted for how long now? I don't know. I was talking muted. How is he the face of boxing? No, he can't be the face of boxing. Who's the face of boxing? How do we define the face of boxing? I guess he's the boxer that most boxers recognize as being king. Maybe. Or is king or not. And that's how I define it. Muted for 30 seconds. Hey, I'll tell you what, it's better than being muted for 60 seconds. So I'm glad it was only 30, but that's still 29 seconds too long. Well, anyway, I'm back. Devin Haney, Shakur Stevens' son, are more qualified for that position, face of boxing, than Tank. Yeah, do you need a belt? Somebody asked the question. Somebody posed the question. Who is it? Where was it? Where did I see it? And the question was, do you need a belt? Well, do belts matter? Well, I would imagine so. I mean, if you got a belt, that means that you're putting in some work. You're applying yourself. Is the face of boxing based on commercial success and commercial value also. So the recognizable face with high commercial value. I fear Tank fans pay at the event but the rest stream. Don't buy pay-per-views. They need to start. What? They need to start buying pay-per-views for him to be the face of boxing, so he can generate mega numbers without a dance partner. Yeah, and that's a key point as well. He needs, it's based on his dance partner, when perhaps more so than himself. So a face of boxing, another criteria for a face of boxing is that he can generate income, vast income, like a cat, and win. You need to be winning. You need to be winning almost every time. You need to be winning. Maybe. But we can look deeper into this, and in comes the man like the John D. Lee. John D. Lee, how do you do?
Good evening, Ralph.
How are you, John?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can you sound a bit muffled?
Muffled.
A little bit.
1 minute.
Okay. I'm changing the music also. The music also.
Is that any better?
That's a lot better.
Okay.
That's a lot better. That's broadcast quality, John. Come on. We're cooking on gas. We're cooking on gas. So, yeah, the people.
Well, I've got a lot to say about this topic.
Well, you carry on.
Okay.
Just step away from the mic for 30 seconds. Okay.
Right, okay. So I'm going to define the face of boxing and an A side. As far as I'm concerned, Tank 100% was the A side in this equation, based on who was calling the shots. Did Ryan capitulate in negotiation too easily? Probably. But all the concessions were made by Ryan. The numbers are exceptionally good.
Yeah.
They might even be better than the pay-per-view numbers might be better than Golovkin versus Canelo one. About 1.2 million they seem to be. So they're fantastic numbers, irrespective of whether you've got a dance partner or not. Those are exceptionally good numbers. And I believe the gate is a record gate as well. In terms of monetary value, actually taken at the gate. So in terms of commercial value and A side, I think this is the first step in maybe him claiming that status, because we now need to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
You can't. His previous numbers are terrible.
Yeah.
So his previous numbers are around 200,000, which are bad. They're really bad.
Yes.
The other thing that I have a massive issue with Tank is nothing to do with whether he's an A side or not. He's the A side or face of boxing. You don't necessarily need to be the best boxer, in my opinion. Oscar De La Hoya is probably quite a good example of that from previous times. And currently, you're probably going to say Anthony Joshua is still going to bring in the most money in heavyweight boxing, probably.
Yeah.
And he's not winning. And at the moment, no one's got him as the number one. So you don't necessarily need to be the best boxer. So most of my issues with Tank have got nothing to do with whether he's the face of boxing or not. My issues with him is he's an irrelevance as well, in that he hasn't really won any full-fledged titles apart from, I think he's got one at featherweight.
Okay.
And then when you deep delve into his resume, you're talking about him being an entertaining fighter. Well, I can tell you why he's an entertaining fighter, Rafi.
Go on then.
He drags up fighters from lower weight classes and beats them up. And he avoids any challenges. If you go through his resume, it's worse than Wilder's.
Wow.
It's horrific.
Wow.
Like, his best win is the Mexican kid who's a featherweight. Him at 130. Yeah. And he fought him at 130.
Wow.
And I think he might have even put some other random stipulations in there as well. And Tank is a featherweight who can't be bothered to make weight.
Dang.
So he's a little fat person. He's about 5'4".
Jeez.
And he's methodically avoided any challenge of any kind in terms of actual competitive fight. He's not knocking out Shakur Stevenson because I don't think he'll be able to find him. He's too small.
Yeah.
I don't care whether he's got enough power to knock out Stevenson. He's not going to get anywhere near him.
Well, who's going to get near Stevenson though?
No, but I mean, he's fighting at a higher weight than Stevenson now. This was at 140, 136.
Yeah.
It's above the lightweight limit because he's too fat and too ill-disciplined to actually be in his correct weight category. Whereas length isn't really the same problem that it should be. And he probably moved better as well.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to look good against depleted fighters or fighters that you've got a big weight advantage over.
Yeah.
And some of them he's struggled with. Was it? Oh, let me get his box record. There's one that he knocked somebody out in the 11th round who's been knocked out by other people who had a leg injury and he still couldn't get him out until the 11th round. When you actually go through everything, it's worse than Wilder's resume. It's like a Luis Ortiz resume.
I think you might be talking about Yorkis Gamboa.
Yes. Gamboa, if we compare him to Luis Ortiz's resume, Gamboa is like Luis Ortiz's Dave Allen fight. You're struggling with people that have been knocked out before. You're going out. And this is the worrying thing, Fight Doctor. If this is your man that's got all the popularity, and I'm not going to dispute any of that. I started off by saying he may well be the face of boxing. 1.2 million are excellent numbers. And his gate is incredible as well.
20 mil.
But what does this say about American boxing? You're behind a guy who doesn't fight for full-fledged titles.
Jeez.
Fights people out of their weight classes. Doesn't have the discipline to be in his correct weight class because he's too fat. And beats women. He's a serial woman beater as well. He's about to go to prison. The other thing that you might say an A-side and face of boxing might need to have are sponsorship.
Yeah. Oh.
And what endorsements does he have? Now, I've got absolutely no dog in this fight because I am not interested in A-sides and I hate A-sides. I don't like Leonard. I don't like Oscar. I don't like Manny Pacquiao. I begrudgingly like Mayweather because of what he did as Pretty Boy.
Yeah.
I don't like Money Mayweather, but I enjoy watching him knock out Ricky Hatton because I don't like fat fighters that are all disciplined. So, Mayweather's probably me being a hypocrite. As you know, I'm not the biggest Muhammad Ali fan, who's probably the all-time ultimate A-side. But I don't really have the same criticisms of Ali because he didn't do all this messing about.
Wow, there we go.
And he fought everybody. Well, the only critique I can give him, and I think it's legitimate, is he didn't rematch Foreman. But that aside,
I don't know if he needed to though.
If you read Jerry Eisenberg when they were giants, and Jerry was one of the first people to ever interview Muhammad and had a very good relationship with him. When they got into the details of what Muhammad was asking George Foreman to do to agree to fight him, he was asking for Foreman, because basically Ali was going to choose Foreman's trainer for him. That's the only way we fight him. Now, most champions get a rematch. Yeah. And so you could say it's an asterisk. You could get into the build-up to the fight in that Foreman was cut and couldn't spar properly, and if it had been anywhere else, it would have been postponed. But the dictator of didn't allow him to leave.
Are you hating, John? Are you hating again?
No, I'm not hating because listen. Ali was brave enough to get in there.
Yeah.
After watching what he'd done to Fraser and to Kenny Norton, two men who'd beaten Ali already.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to bravery and chin, Ali is faultless.
He was expected to get killed in there. Muhammad Ali was expected to get killed in the ring. Killed.
I know. Look, the achievement of beating George Foreman, for me, is actually what makes Ali's legend. And he did it. So that's the end of it, really. So
this is a man also. This is a man who was denied fighting for 3 years in his prime. 3 years in his prime. I mean, it's hard to know.
You know, he's my number 2.
Yeah,
I'm heavyweights, and I don't really like him.
Yeah,
as a boxer.
Hard to know.
As a man, I've got no criticisms against him as a man at all. Well, one, but we'll forget about that. I don't like some of the things he shit talked to Joe Fraser, but I mean, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, that was harsh.
Yeah, exactly. Harsh. But as an all-time,
this ain't tiddlywinks, though. This ain't tiddlywinks.
Rafi, as an all-time great heavyweight, I've got him at number 2.
Yeah, I mean, he said some harsh things, not just about Joe Fraser. He hurt a lot of people's feelings in the ring. He hurt a lot of his opponents.
No, but what grates on me is a couple of things. I mean, Joe Fraser's father was a sharecropper who was disabled, so he knew real hardcore poverty and racial abuse at the nth level of when it was bad. And Joe gave money to Ali and supported him when he was in that 3 years. That's why I don't like it. I just think he should have been a bit more respectful to Joe, because Joe put himself out there for Muhammad.
Yeah.
So that's my reason. But it doesn't really matter. If we talk about all-time great heavyweights,
there's no business like show business.
Well, I've got him at number 2, and if anyone has him at number 1, that's fine. I just don't.
Well,
I have Joe Louis.
Most people have him at number 1.
Yeah, but I have Joe Louis. Which
I know.
He's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, he was good. All right, Joe.
Well, he's got the most defenses of the heavyweight title and longest reign.
He was bloody good, mate.
Exactly. Anyway, getting back to Tank.
He was bloody good.
Getting back to Tank. Tank's irrelevant to the what division is he in? 136. What is that? He's not a lightweight because he's too fat to make lightweight.
Joe Louis is John's number 1. Muhammad Ali is mine. All time.
Who's all time? Yeah.
Yeah, all time. He's my favorite. Yes.
Well, I don't count.
I'm talking about heavyweights. He's my favorite.
I don't really grade before the First World War, because I see that as a different sport, because it was limited rounds.
Yeah, if you're talking about
if you really want to get into it, there's Sam Langford and Jack Johnson are all-time greats of the sport. But I don't know how you rank them against the other fighters, because the game was so different. Yeah, the game was so different. Yeah, it was so different. If we're talking about boxers of any weight, who's the best anyway, then in the modern era, I think it'd be hard to look past Sugar Ray Robinson, personally. I've got Robinson as my number 1. Yeah, if you're talking about any weight, all time, anyone who wants to talk about, it'd be hard to look past Sugar Ray Robinson, but I'm talking about the heavyweights. Those are the heavyweights, just for clarity. Robinson's also mine, because he could do everything. He'd knock you out. He wouldn't just. I mean, it's particularly a welterweight, which is his true weight. Yeah. If you look at the weights he came in at the middleweight division, he often came in pretty light for a middleweight. Yeah. A lot was said. Muhammad Ali versus Fraser, but mutual respect is there between the two icons. But that was painful to Joe Fraser. I'm not sure that Fraser did actually forgive him. He may not have forgiven him. I saw some late interviews of Joe and some of those. Listen. Muhammad Ali had a very acerbic tongue. Okay. He could hurt people. He could hurt people with his tongue, with the things that he said. I know George Foreman. If you go through the resume, I know George Foreman was hurt. But you know what I'm saying? But listen, this ain't tiddlywinks.
This ain't tiddlywinks. Things are said in the heat of the moment. Things are said to get under your opponent's skin. Things get said in boxing. That's the way it is, my friend. That's the way it is. I don't think we can be overly sensitive,
Okay.
although a degree of sensitivity, is fair.
Let's say that from a resume point of view, from the 1950s onwards, it's hard to find a boxer of any weight division with a better resume than Muhammad Ali. Let's leave it there. It's very difficult from the 1950s to find anybody. You can maybe come up with a couple of people, but you got to really think about it.
Yeah.
Now, that's the original A side. Somebody who took on all comers, took on all challenges, win, lose or draw, didn't care. He'd do it. Yeah, which is why he got beat.
Yeah,
but the mark of the man is the two men who beat him. He got in the ring with the man that beat those two guys and beat him.
Yeah.
So when we look at Tank, this is a man who fights in his own weight classes, 136 pounds. I'm not sure which weight class that's supposed to be. Always fights people from the lower weights because he's too fat to make weight.
Oh Lord.
Avoids fighting for titles, avoids fighting the top people from the divisions of there. So if he in truth is the face of American boxing, what does that say about American boxing?
It says
that's my concern about this whole scenario. I'm quite happy that he may well be certainly English, the face of American speaking. English-speaking American boxing. Because Canelo, he fights in America and his fights are sold in America, but he's Mexican.
Tis not winks, that's tiddle. Wordplay, a little bit of wordplay up in here.
We like a bit of wordsmithery.
Yes, a little bit of wordsmithery. And I have to ask the people, is Gervonta, you see, my problem with Gervonta Davies is that he's probably not going to want to fight Shakur.
Why would he do that?
He's probably...
he's going to fight featherweights at 136 pounds, Rafi.
He's
probably going to fight Rolly, to be honest. I think they're getting ready for the Rolly rematch.
Damn. Everything that we see from Gervonta says that he's not going to fight Shakur, but yet Shakur says, hey, I'm ready anytime you're ready. And, I think Shakur will do it without hesitation. Why? My question to you, my question to everybody is, why would Gervonta Davies not want to cement his status and fight a guy who many people, including myself, have as in the next year or two probably being the best technical boxer out there? Why would Gervonta not want to test his mettle against him? That's my question.
I could answer that question, Rafi. Gervonta Davies's commercial worth is not based on boxing. It's based on marketing and appealing to certain groups of people who are not. Well, I don't know if it's one demographic. It's groups of people.
Okay.
And these are people who are not interested in boxing. So I think the KSI analogy is perfect. He's like a social media boxer. In that the casual fans don't know who he's fighting. So
we're talking about Gervonta or Ryan Garcia?
Gervonta. Because Ryan Garcia is not even a boxer at all.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, Gervonta has actually got skill.
Yeah.
He's too fat to fight in his own weight category. That's the problem.
Oh, Lord.
So if he could get down to 126, if he was disciplined in between fights, the man is 5'4", or whatever he is. How tall is he, Ralph?
So I got his
He's like full dwarf status.
box rec up here. Does it say the height? Oh yeah. 5 foot 5.5 inches.
Okay. So, you know, he doesn't really have a lot of business fighting at lightweight, really. And he has no business fighting at super lightweight.
Yeah.
Like, how's he going to fight anyone at 140 pounds?
Yeah, he's not.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. But he's fighting at 136 pounds. Now, don't get me started on Ryan, because Ryan's even worse than Gervonta.
Yeah.
Like, Ryan became the mandatory for Devin Haney and gave it up because he was too emotionally troubled at the time. He doesn't box. He didn't bother to have a tune-up fight ahead of this, even though Tank had one. So this was a battle of fake boxers who just are about being an A-side without actually doing any achievement. So traditionally in boxing, I don't like Sugar Ray Leonard particularly. But he did all the achievements, and he went the traditional route of Olympic champion when it meant something. And he defeated Benitez. And
Wilfredo Benitez.
Yeah, exactly. It was a fantastic boxer. He was like a really good boxer.
Yeah.
And he defeated him. And then he knocked out Tommy Hearns. I mean, he did what needed to be done.
Yeah.
To be the best boxer.
He did.
And so, whilst I don't like the way he manipulated his A-side status,
yeah, I don't like that at all.
He had the ability to back it up, and he took on the challenges.
Yes.
Gervonta Davies, he's not like he's. Why do you need to put a rehydration clause and a catch weight on somebody who's as bad as Ryan is? Like, if Ryan had come in at whatever weight he wanted to within the 140 pound limit, I still think Gervonta Davies would have knocked him out, because Ryan leaves his chin hanging out.
Way out.
He's there to be hit. He's not a good boxer. He's not an experienced boxer. His best win is a Luke Campbell win. Who, if in truth, if we're going to be honest about it, Luke Campbell's one of those people who finds a way to lose. Yeah. Like, when he put Ryan down, he didn't step on the gas at all. He looked worried and just ran away from the situation.
He looked surprised. What the hell's happening?
Yeah, exactly. This isn't supposed to happen. I might win.
Yeah.
And, he's very good at clutching defeat from the jaws of victory. He's really good at it. So we were talking ages before the bloody Hagler win.
Yeah,
I'm not even getting into that Hagler win. That's ridiculous.
No.
Beating Benitez and Tommy Hearns are legitimate victories and achievements.
And then the rematch with Duran.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some shenanigans with that though, Rafi.
There was some shenanigans with that.
So, the turnaround on that rematch was ludicrous.
They said what was the turnaround that rematch? They said that
it was like 6 or 8 weeks.
What?
No, that's when the A-side tactics start to kick in.
You're having a laugh at you.
Go and check it out at the dates. It's outrageous.
What the hell?
That's when the A-side tactics started.
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to look that up. That's mad.
Yeah, no, look it up. It's outrageous.
That's mad. I'm gonna have to do that right now.
Like Leonard, because you know how Leonard would look for his opponent's weaknesses outside the ring as well as inside.
Yeah, very Machiavellian.
He knew that Duran liked his food and was going to get fat.
Oh, gosh.
And so he gave him enough time to get fat and not enough time to make weight. And that's why he had no masked it. Like, he shouldn't have no masked it. He should have just seen it out and got beat on the cards.
Yeah.
But and when you look at the sort of poverty Duran had come from, it's like mind-boggling. People who've grown up in a country like the UK cannot understand that level of poverty. It's just not possible.
For real.
Like, having to work as a child and not having an education because you live in a country that doesn't have state benefit.
Yeah.
And learning to fight as a way to earn money in the street as a teenager, so you don't have to shine shoes anymore.
Mm.
That's why he had such an eating problem, because like to him, when you had money, it meant you could eat. Like I think it's a legitimate psychological problem for Duran due to, you know, his impoverished upbringing, basically.
Well, what's his impoverished upbringing got to do with?
Well, because he struggled to have enough money to eat food as growing up.
Yeah.
So as soon as he came into money, he started eating a lot. And when you're a boxer who has to make weight, it's not always, because like Duran used to blow up in between fights, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why.
Because that comes down to discipline, though. That comes down to discipline, though.
No, I'm not saying that there wasn't a discipline issue as well. But I think there was a bit of a psychological problem behind it in that he'd come from that. I mean, I'm not the only person to say that.
Yeah.
But if you look at the turnaround between the two Duran fights with Sugar Ray Leonard, that's when, for me, the A-side tactics started to come into play, because he knew that Duran wasn't disciplined in between. After a victory, he'd go and have a massive party and stuff his face. Another one was Ali, to be honest.
What about him?
Well, in between the first Liston fight and the second one, I had to postpone the rematch because Ali herniated his intestine from eating too much food.
Oh dear. And
for me, the reason that 70s Ali is never the 60s Ali is because he was always overweight. He just couldn't move like he could before because he was too fat. I mean, he didn't look fat, but compared to what he looks like in the 60s and what he looks like in the 70s, he's significantly more smooth. He's carrying a lot more body fat than he needs to.
Well, it didn't affect his performance. Well,
it did affect his performance, Rafi. That's when we found out he had a good chin. Because if he didn't used to get hit very much in the 60s.
Yeah.
And he used to outbox people and outspeed them in the 70s. He outlasted them. And if he didn't, it's like if you think of him as being a tremendous athlete like Roy Jones Jr., when that athleticism depleted for whatever reason, Roy didn't have a chin and then Muhammad did. That's one of the big differences for me.
Okay, so
they're both amazing athletes, but when that athleticism is depleted, Muhammad had his chin he could rely on.
So according to BoxRec, Duran only fought Ray Leonard once. Apparently, there was no rematch. Oh, let me show you the screen. You probably think I'm joking. Let's bring this up. Remember, folks, the poll is up. Closing it any minute now, so get your votes in. Let's get this thing down. So there we have it. According to BoxRec, Roberto Duran only fought Sugar Ray Leonard once, and Ray Leonard lost by points, unanimous decision, but there was no rematch apparently. You see that?
Yeah, I can see that. So fight one, according to Wikipedia, was 20th of June 1980. Fight two was the 25th of November. So it was more than I said. It was 5 month turnaround.
Okay, it was 5 months. That makes okay. That
5 months, 5 days. But it's still pretty quick. And it was enough time to let him get fat and then not get it off.
Is that quick? 6 months? 6 months?
5 months.
Is the standard?
Probably. Well, it is quick. A lot of people aren't that quick on a turnaround, but it's not. It's not
ridiculous.
It's not as ludicrous as I had said.
Okay, but it's interesting that apparently they only fought once, according to BoxRec. I'm pretty sure I saw him fight twice.
That's a bit embarrassing, isn't it?
That's a bit weird.
Well,
Roberto
Wikipedia
Duran.
has it as 2 fights: 20th of June, Montreal, 1980.
Well, even,
25th.
well, even when you go to Sugar Ray Leonard's box rec, it still only has them as fight once.
But number 2 is I don't even.
This is outrageous. This is quite outrageous.
That's amazingly bad.
That is amazingly bad. One of the classic. Well, they've got the classic fight there. They've got the no mass. Where is he?
Well, hold on. What's the date of the fight that they've got?
Well,
Is it the 20th of June or is it the 25th of November?
It says here 1989.
That's the third one.
My God, they had a third.
We'll go down to 1980, Raf.
I forgot about that. That's 89. 1989.
1980 is the 2 fights.
Yeah, it's okay. 89.
Yeah, you go down because maybe you've just forgotten number 3 fight. But go the other way.
The space in the distance, the time. The distance, the time.
There we are. Hold on.
Okay.
There they are.
Okay. Well, that's 2, 3. Oh yeah, there we are. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so they're there. Lost unanimous decision, 1 TKO, 8 round. That was the famous no mass fight. And then the third fight, which everybody forgets about, including myself.
Well,
I don't know if I even watched this fight. I don't know if I was even aware that it actually happened.
I don't know. There's a lot of point by then.
Yeah. 1989. When
he was coming off the split decision from Tommy Hearns, which he was lucky to get.
Yeah. So the original fight happened in 1980.
Yes.
And the third fight, which I'm not even sure that I was aware of at the time, I've only found out in retrospect.
That was just a bit of a retirement for Roberto.
Yeah, that was. It's not even in my psyche. That fight. It's not even in my psyche. That's not. That's not.
I mean, I suppose there were one apiece.
One apiece. Yeah. The rematch 10 years later, a decade later, the end of 80s, 89. That wasn't really anything that anybody talks about. Roberto had that fight.
Well, he had 2 losses after that, didn't he? And that's it.
Yeah, so that's not something that people really remember. So there you go. Let me see what people are saying before we move on. Remember, as a matter of fact, let me just deal with the poll right now. What is this? Is Tank Davis the face of boxing? Let's close the poll. And hopefully the result should pop up any second, but just because I'm waiting for it, it's not going to happen. Okay. Probably pop up in about a minute or so. Maybe I just refresh my screen and hopefully it will be there. Just do this. Oh, there it is. Thought so. And then we move. Let's just get this up in here. Okay. So the result of the poll, the question was, where is it? Question was, is Tank Davis the face of boxing? 75% of respondents said no. That's 2/3 say no. What, 3/4 say no. 1/4, 25% say yay. So the no's has it. No. Emphatically no. Okay, let's go into the chat before we switch tact. What are people saying? Leonard's career was window dressing. Leonard lost the Hearns rematch. To hell with those judges. What were they on?
I've got to agree with the fight doctor on that completely.
I can't remember the third one. I can't remember.
Raf.
Lost the rematch, sorry, the rematch.
Yeah, I
can't remember.
I can send you a good one of that. Tommy Tommy outboxed him, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I better watch that. It was a long, long time ago.
Well, you know, Tommy's out of those fighters. Tommy's my favourite.
Out of which fighters? Out of which
I
fighters?
don't know that he is. I kind of see Hagler as a different entity because Hagler was sat up there at middleweight.
Oh,
Out of the, because I don't really see Hagler as one of the four kings.
is he not?
Well, I've got Benitez, Duran, Tommy, and Leonard as the four kings because they were at welterweight.
Because they were welterweight. Okay, well that's fair enough. Marvin Hagler was a
his career middleweight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's middleweight. Yeah.
Like, Marvin is one of my absolute favourite fighters of all time. It's not a knock on him. I just saw him as being in a different weight category.
Yeah, he's in a different weight category. Yeah, he's in a different weight category. That was a welterweight.
So not one of the four kings, essentially. So out of the four kings, Tommy's my favourite.
Yeah. Well, Sugar Ray Leonard was my favorite, even though I don't like him. I stopped liking him after he beat Hagler.
Probably the smoothest, Raf. I mean, if you're going to look for fluidity, is
I mean,
question.
I mean, fluidity. Damn, that was his middle name, and you know.
Well, having said that, though, I mean, Roberto was a bit.
Roberto was a monster. Come on, he was a monster.
No, but if you watch him on the inside, his ability to not get hit in the pocket is amazing.
He was like a cat.
So for smoothness, I think you've got to give Roberto a bit of credit as well.
Yeah. I mean, Roberto's smoothness is underrated because people just see him as a banger, hands of stone.
But he could be there and not get hit. And
but he was very skillful. He's very slick with it. He was slick with it.
He's the slickest pressure fighter, arguably, of all time, because he was a total pressure fighter. He didn't really have much defensive stepping back.
No,
his defense was head movement in the pocket, wasn't it?
Yes, which is a hell of a
very difficult skill. Yeah,
it's a very difficult skill to master. I don't know if anybody ever masters it. Well, yes, a few people did.
Duran mastered that. I mean, if you look him at lightweight, he's untouchable.
Yeah, it's incredible. Ryan could beat most in the world at throwing hands. Throwing hands.
I think he means hitting the pad.
Okay. I get you. I
like the irony, Mr. Coates.
Some places in America are worse than third world countries. How do we get there?
I'm not really sure.
Oh, I know, because you was talking about the poverty of Duran.
Nothing compares to that.
Still get
Panama City.
You can still get welfare cheese.
Yeah, you can still get food stamps and stuff.
You can still get food stamps. Come on now.
Like Panama City in the 70s, I'm living on
Can anyone imagine Muhammad Ali if he was a southpaw heavyweight boxer in his prime? Yeah, well, that would be incredible, but he's incredible as he was. We don't have to give him any imaginary advantages or at all. He was.
Go and look at his resume. I mean, you don't really need to go any further.
You don't need to go any further than that. Leonard Duran fought 3 times. Does the third one count to anybody? Technically, they fought 3 times, but does the third one count to anybody? Does anybody remember the third fight? I didn't even know.
That might be a bit slow when he might have been correcting the error of finding the fight.
Oh, okay. Aren't all faces of boxing careers riddled with window dressing, making use of their A-side privileges? Riddled?
Yes, and that's why I don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them.
Hearns is your all-time favorite. Really? Since when? I know you had a lot of difficulties with your heavyweight top 5. You know, that turned into a half-hour segment.
If he's just talking about the 4 kings, I mean, there's only 4 to choose from.
There's only 4 to choose from. Fair enough. Okay, let's say goodbye to Sugar Ray Leonard. Adios. Hasta la vista.
But he's, for me, he's the one who started the A-side shenanigans because...
Bloody shenanigans.
I mean, maybe Muhammad had a few gift decisions that he shouldn't have had. but Muhammad always got in the ring.
What
So if you look at like
what gift decisions did he have?
Kenny Norton, third fight.
Third fight, that was a gift, you say?
In my opinion,
that was a close.
There's a couple after that as well.
Yeah.
But he's in the ring to get him. Gervonta's not anywhere near a challenge like Kenny Norton was to Muhammad Ali. So is it really Muhammad Ali's fault that his promoters paid off the judges? Not necessarily. Like, if there was a worst case scenario, I'm not saying that's what happened, right?
I was going to say, have you got proof of that?
No. Just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
My point is,
that's a strong accusation, John. It's a very strong accusation.
Yeah, hold on, hear me out.
I mean, I would counter that.
Let me finish the sentence, please.
Go on then.
I'm not going to criticise the boxer in those situations because they're brave enough to get in against the opponent.
Yeah,
what if Kenny had knocked him out?
What?
No, we're talking about the third Kenny Norton fight in this particular instance.
Yeah.
Muhammad's brave enough to get in there and fight him. A man he's already lost to.
Yeah.
So I'm not criticising Muhammad Ali for that gift decision because he got in the ring.
Well, you say it's a gift decision, but
no, I'm saying it's a hypothetically.
Yeah.
If you want to argue he won the fight, that's fine. It was a 15-round close decision.
Yeah.
It's a hypothetical thing in that it's the worst A-side shenanigan you could level against Muhammad Ali. But what stops it being an A-side shenanigan is he got in the ring.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Once we get to Leonard, it's a whole different kettle of fish. We start getting catch weights for two bloody belts on the line at bloody light heavyweight and just sort of all sorts of stupid nonsense going on.
Yeah.
Like, who was the guy he beat at super middleweight?
Donnie Lalonde?
Yeah, that's the guy. And he took his light heavyweight title at the same time. I'm trying. That was the reason for the Kenny Norton statement, Rafi, is to make the contrast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the very worst thing you could say against Muhammad, who was an unquestionable massive A-side, probably bigger than any other A-side in the history of the sport. The worst thing you could say about him is he might have got some decisions go his way. But when we look at some of the things Sugar Ray got up to, it's night and day. Yeah. And then if we compare Sugar Ray to fucking Tank Davis, sorry for swearing, you know, at least he's an Olympic gold medalist who's beaten the best welterweight in Benitez and then defended against the other best welterweight in Tommy Hearns, or whatever order that went in. You know, his early resume will stand up with anybody.
Yeah. Yes.
I know we've got a little fat frog who can't make featherweight fighting in all these crazy weights and not fighting for any titles. So if that is your face of boxing, what has happened?
That's a sad state of affairs. That is a sad state of affairs. Okay. So I think we've thoroughly looked into the Tank Davis thing. My thing to summarize with Tank Davis is that Tank Davis, yeah, that's his name. Well, I mean, this number, this pay-per-view figure is beautiful. It's lovely, 1.2 million. But let's not kid ourselves. It's not all Ryan. It's not all King Rai. It's not all Gervonta Davis. It's a combination of the pair. But let's not overlook King Rai's contribution, and let's average out. Let's average it out. Let's say, well, yeah, you sold 1.2. Not to deride the guy, but that's not your average. You're not an average high seller. You don't sell high on average. You know, if you get the right dance partner, then you can do fantastic numbers. But an A-side, a face of boxing doesn't rely on the opponent to get good numbers. A face of boxing just gets good numbers, no matter who he fights. And so that's why I say Gervonta Davis, hey, I do watch his fights. I do enjoy his fights. You almost guaranteed to get a knockout, and that's great. But no, face of boxing, no. He needs to do a hell of a lot more. We've discussed what he doesn't do, but he needs to do those things. He needs to fight the best guys, and he quite simply does not.
I mean, at the moment, he needs to worry about getting some protection while he's in prison.
Will he be going to prison for his transgressions with the?
I think they might give him like a little bit of a slap on the wrist time.
Might give him a little bit of a slap, a little bit of a, you know.
I think he's broken all sorts of probation and everything else.
He might be going. He might be going like. Well, let's not forget. Only a few years ago, when Floyd Mayweather, TBE, apparently, according to him. When I shouldn't say TB, just let me call him by his name. Floyd Mayweather was incarcerated for, you know, getting a bit quick with the hands with a lady, getting a bit quick with the hands with a lady, and he did some time over there in the pen.
I mean, you've got a little fat frog that beats on women in his spare time as you face a boxer. In
the spare time, OMG. So no to that.
Well, but, I mean, more worryingly, if it's yes, Raf.
No, yes, what? Well, no, I'm saying he ain't.
Yeah, I know you're saying he's not. I mean,
yeah. Some people saying he's but he is.
Well, look at it like this, right? They've outsold a heavyweight title fight in America. So for somebody at sort of what we're going to call it, we'll call it super lightweight for argument's sake, from 36 pounds. That's a bit of an achievement.
What, the numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal numbers. And even with if you look at the Berto fight after the Pacquiao fight, I think Floyd did about 500,000 for Berto. If Tank goes and does 500 after this, that is what Canelo does against a non-name. So that would say he actually is a face of boxing. But that's horrific. You've got a fat dwarf that beats women as your face of boxing.
Well,
what does that say about the state of American boxing? I mean, you're nearly ready to put the final nail in the coffin if that's the reality of the situation.
Well, it certainly ain't good. I'll tell you that much for nothing. But anyway, we've done that one. Do you think that Anthony Joshua should use the cross-arm guard for Deontay Wilder? Okay, well,
no.
since we've gone there, y'all people want to talk about that? Okay, well, let's talk about that. Where are we? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so Anthony Joshua confirms that he is fighting Deontay Wilder in December. Have we talked about this before? I think no, we didn't. We said he was gone till December, but I think I've done a video on it. That he's gone till December, but now we're talking about it. That he's fighting Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, in December. And what can we say? OMG. So people obviously are going to say, well, why now? Why now? Why is Deontay Wilder now decided he's going to fight him? Well, I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I think that Deontay Wilder is coming to the end of his career. It's coming to the end of his career, and he realized that he made some mistakes earlier on in not taking the money. He was talking about loyalty and all that jazz. And then he looked around properly and said, "Hold on a second. I got a family. I got a family. I got what do you call it? I got child support to pay." Because he has a number of kids, but a number of ladies. He's got a number of kids by a number of ladies. That's going to be expensive. I got child support to pay. The youngest one's probably like 2 years old, so he's still got another at least 16 years. And I would imagine he wants him to go to college. So we're looking at 16, 18, 19, at least 19 years, get him through college, 20 years. So he's still going to be paying child support or supporting children for 20 years, 2 more decades. So I think he got with the program. He got hip, he got wise. That Saudi money is making him smile. He's smiling. Because he's gonna get that Saudi money. So he's had a reality check, and now he knows what it's all about. It's all about fighting the top fights and getting the best money possible for fighting the top fights. And now he's up against, and also I think he's got confidence now. Remember when he was scheduled to fight, when we were talking about him fighting Joshua hadn't left yet. I had a very honest American. Well, he was being honest about this particular point. Who was it? Tony Reviews. Tony Reviews is up in here a few months back, and he said, well, Anthony looked like a monster back then. He hadn't lost back then. And yeah, he's right. He doesn't look, public perception will say that Anthony Joshua doesn't look the monster now that he looked back then. Deontay Wilder's looking at him, in my opinion, and saying, I can take this guy. Look at him. Look at him, y'all. Look at him. I can take this guy. He's mentally frail. He's mentally not there. And in all honesty, I think a lot of people agree. A lot of people agree with him. I was listening to shout out to Spencer Fearon. I was listening to his interview with John Fury last night. I think today is Monday. Yeah, so it would have been Sunday. And John Fury had some interesting things to say. He said, if I was managing AJ, if I was working with AJ, the thing that I would be working on most is his mind. Look at him. He's 6'6", chiseled out of stone, carved in stone, hands of stone, chiseled out of granite, hands of stone. He punched through walls. The thing you need to work on with Joshua is his mind. And I've said it umpteen times before. Where his trainers failed him in the Ruiz fight was not understanding where he was mentally. It was a mental thing that they should have been dealing with. Tactics, get the tactics right, make sure he knows what he's doing tactically, A, but B, mentally, get in sync with your fighter mentally. I was just listening to an interview by Pat Barrett. And he said that Zelfa, his nephew, he moves in with him. He moves in with him at certain points, certain parts of the fight camp. Literally, physically moves in with him. And that's a mental thing too, because you're mental. You're working with him mentally all the time. And I think I think a great trainer understands the need for that mental connection, being there, understanding your fighter as good as he understands himself, being in his head, understanding what he's thinking, where he's at mentally. And I agree in part. The mental side is a very big side. I think Deontay Wilder sees Anthony Joshua is mentally frail now, but I think where he miscalculates is that with certain fights, I think the biggest fights, I think Anthony Joshua will turn up. He'll turn up. My opinion, Anthony Joshua will turn up for the Wilder fight, so long as Derek James is into his head, which I think and I believe he can be, then Anthony Joshua will turn up for the Deontay Wilder fight. What do I think is going to happen? I think I need to open a poll for this. What do I think is going to happen? I think it's going to be I think it's a 50-50 fight. It's a 50-50 fight now. Deontay Wilder feels confident that Anthony Joshua is mentally impaired, fragile. And that's going to get Deontay Wilder's tail up. But I think that Anthony Joshua is a better boxer than Deontay Wilder might realize. Is Deontay Wilder's right hand real? I think it is. I think it is. I think it's a real danger. But I think if you're a good boxer, I think you can take him out. I think Anthony Joshua can knock him out. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a 50. I got it down as 50-50, but I think Anthony Joshua can outbox him. And I think Anthony Joshua will believe in his knockout power. I think Anthony Joshua will touch Deontay Wilder's chin. I think it's fascinating. Either guy, I think it's fascinating. I'm looking very much forward to it. John D. Lee.
Well, in answer to the first question that was put up about this, could he use a cross arm guard or the turtle guard? Or...
Yeah, I say no to that.
I say no, because as I've said, and I've been on record umpteen times with this, the most definitive was when I predicted Tyson Fury to knock out Deontay Wilder in their second fight on this show, long before the fight happened.
Mm-hmm.
The way to beat Deontay Wilder is to step to him.
Absolutely.
So if he should do anything, he should use a step jab and parry Wilder's jab and get inside him. Because that's where Wilder is vulnerable and it's where he can't get leverage on his punches. Anyone that tries to stay on the outside of Deontay Wilder is asking for trouble.
Yeah.
And anybody that allows him to throw punches is in trouble. There's a very easy way to stop Deontay Wilder from throwing punches. If you watch the second Luis Ortiz fight, Luis Ortiz was successfully parrying Wilder's jab up until the round he got knocked out in. The round he decided to not parry the jab and try and use head movement is when he got knocked out. If you get inside his range and you stop him from jabbing by parrying and just keeping that hand up active so he can't get off, and Joshua's perfectly capable of parrying Wilder's jab.
Yeah.
I've seen Joshua parry many jabs, and Wilder's jab's telegraphed. It's easy to read. He uses that as a range finder for the right hand. And if you occupy his lead hand, he won't throw the right. If you get inside him, he's got no defense. He can't fight on the back foot. He starts crossing his feet and all these sort of things. That was a game plan outlined by Stacey McKinley years ago on that guy that you did a collab with, his channel.
Yeah, Brendan.
Yeah, and that's the Detroit method called step into the power when someone's got a big right hand.
Yeah.
And ultimately, Deontay Wilder's a poor Mark Breland, who's a crank fighter.
Yeah.
And that's what he needs to do. Now, I don't know if that game plan is going to be the one that they use. But it's what they should do, because Stacey McKinley said it's what you should do. Tyson Fury demonstrated that's what you need to do. And as soon as Deontay Wilder's on his back foot, he can't do anything. He's completely vulnerable.
Bambi on ice.
Yeah, and to get there, all you have to do is occupy his jab and step to him with your heavy jab. Joshua's got a good jab.
He's got a very good jab.
So, and he can parry a jab. So he just needs to use a step jab. That's how you beat him. You use a step jab, and then you can take him out with an uppercut, a hook. These are punches Joshua has.
Yeah.
Is Wilder's right hand real? I'm very dubious. And the reason I'm very dubious is the only person that Wilder's knocked out who's never been knocked out before is also the only person he's knocked out in the top 10, which is Luis Ortiz. If you look at the fighters Luis Ortiz has fought, what big punches has Luis Ortiz ever been in with? Then we go to Bermain Stavern, legitimate top 10 in the first fight, 12 rounds. Tyson Fury, questionable, top 10 first fight, 12 rounds. 2 losses against Tyson Fury. Those are all the fights he's had of legitimate top fighters. And he's only knocked out Luis Ortiz, who himself is equally unproven. If you look at a proven right hand down the pipe, Vladimir Klitschko's right hand is one of the most proven knockout punches in recent heavyweight times.
Mm.
That's a legitimate right hand.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But one of them's faced that type of power and the other one hasn't. But the one who's supposed to be chinny is the one who's been knocked out by someone who's not considered to be a big puncher.
Yeah, Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see Anthony Joshua test Deontay Wilder.
I don't think there's anything actually wrong with Anthony Joshua's mind. I think there's a lot of over-analysis of everything he says.
Yeah.
There's a lot of over-analysis of everything that he does, including what he does in the ring. Has there been some tentative stuff? Does it look awkward? Yes. Is he possibly gun-shy? Maybe. Does he struggle with short fighters? 100%. Is Deontay Wilder 6'2"? No. What I do think they should do is fight somebody 6'5" and above as a tune-up in the summer. That's why yeah. Because I think
6'5" and above.
I think when he's at eye level, when he's punching at eye level, that's where Joshua gets the knockout. And fighting a slippery guy that he couldn't land his jabs cleanly on as a rangefinder, I think made him tentative.
Yeah.
In his last fight. Do you look tentative against Pulev? Yeah, he did. So maybe he is tentative. I mean, I'm not going to say he's not. To get that confidence back, my argument would be to fight someone like Gerald Washington.
He would get roasted in the press.
Why though? So if you say I'm having a tune-up fight before I fight Wilder,
yeah,
that's what all the press are telling him he should do.
You get roasted.
Everybody's been bitching and moaning that he's not fighting in the summer, Rafi.
And then when he fights in the summer against Gerald Washington, they get roasted even more.
Oh, okay. So what? He's good. He gets roasted whatever he does.
Yeah.
He opened an Under Armour store, and I've seen articles about how Joshua looks terrified of fighting Wilder after running from him for years.
Oh Lord!
I mean, he can't do right for doing wrong.
No, he
so
can't.
Why worry about what the press say? I say fuck the press.
Yeah.
Fight Gerald Washington in America. If you've got a big money fight later in the year, you don't need to big purse off it. Fight him in America. Gerald Washington's American.
Yeah.
Fight him in America.
Get crucified. Absolutely crucified.
Yeah, he would, but he's going to get crucified anyway.
Yeah, he will. He will. He will.
I mean, I don't.
Why not Dillian White?
Why not Dillian White? Because I don't think he'd get as much out of it as he would out of fighting someone like Gerald Washington.
I think if he does fight in the summer, I think he'll be against Dillian White in Wembley.
It's looking that way.
That's what's
going
on.
I don't see it as a particularly good tune-up fight for Wilder.
No, neither do I.
And he's going to get crucified for that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a pointless fight. It's not going to be a popular fight. I don't think it's going to sell. Nobody wants it. Yeah. Everybody's seen Dillian knocked out too many times now. So if he doesn't knock him out quicker than 5 rounds, he's going to have all the Fury comparisons and just get slated for that. It's not going to sell. He's on a hiding to nothing.
He's on a hiding to
nothing.
nothing.
If you're going to be on a hiding to nothing for what you do, because I don't see why he'd fight Otto Wallin. He's a southpaw.
He's a southpaw.
I can see a time and a place for fighting Otto Wallin, but not a tune-up for Wilder. If you go on record...
What about Joe Joyce? What about Joe Joyce?
Well, he's not really comparable to Wilder either.
He's pretty upright. Pretty upright.
He's an inside fighter, though. He's going to come to you, whereas Wilder wants you to stay at range.
Yeah, Wilder's going to be
what I'd say to you, Rafi, is you want somebody who's tall and who wants to box on the outside, which is something Gerald Washington does actually do. And he is tall and he is long. And you've got to practice getting inside him.
Yeah.
And he's a jabber as well. He's probably got a better jab. I mean, if you go back and watch the fight against Wilder, he actually had Wilder in a lot of trouble until Wilder knocked him out.
Yeah, he did. He He might have been up on the cards.
Yeah, well, I don't know with those cards, but he should have been.
Yeah.
Because you look at some of the Luis Ortiz cards, Wilder was up.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So irrespective of that, because he knocked him out, so it doesn't matter. That is better preparation.
Mm-hmm.
And go and get a knockout in America. Just go and get a knockout in America. Why not?
Get a knockout in America.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? Why not?
You're training in America. You're training there. You don't have to reacclimatise to come back here. You don't have to deal with our stupid press kicking off at you.
Mm-hmm.
They can moan about it all they want. It'll go under the radar in America. It's not big news over there in fighting George Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So the British press might crucify him, but you're in Dallas. So what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All you've got to do is ignore YouTube and not buy any English papers while you're in America.
For real.
Yeah, I'd like to see him do something selfish like that for his own benefit.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a lot of pressure to have the Dillian White fight, but I don't know what. No one's going to buy that fight.
Well, I've been saying that I don't.
The only people who are going to be interested in that fight are Dillian White fans who are hoping he knocks out Anthony Joshua. I mean,
I've been saying that I've been anti that fight. But if he's fighting Deontay Wilder, he's got to pick an opponent for the summertime. He's got to pick an opponent for the summertime. I don't see the advantage in not fighting in the summer.
There's no way he should not fight in the summer. I mean, that's 100%. He needs to fight in the summer.
Yeah.
But that's why I think Gerald Washington's a perfect opponent, because he's 6'6". Okay, he's not a puncher like Wilder, but there's no point trying to practice getting hit with punches like Wilder. That's a pointless exercise. What you need to practice is how to parry a jab and how to get inside on a tall guy and open him up.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do that to Wilder, he's done for.
Mm-hmm.
If you try and box from range and score points against Wilder, that's when you're going to get knocked out.
Is Wilder still the same after getting put to sleep?
Apparently, it's Anthony Joshua who got stopped on his feet, who kept getting up, irrespective of whether he quit or didn't quit or whatever. The referee stopped the fight with Joshua on his feet. Yeah. Fury stopped the last fight against Wilder, but apparently it's Wilder with the granite chin and Joshua the one who's chinny.
Is Wilder still the same after getting put to sleep by? Well, he didn't get put to sleep.
The last one he did.
No, he didn't. He got his exhaustion. He got up 3 seconds after. He got dropped. He was just exhausted.
He didn't beat the count, ref.
No, I didn't get the count. I said he got up 3 seconds after.
So 13 seconds after the punch.
Yeah. But that's the same as Fury in the first. That's the same as Fury in the first fight, though. 13 seconds after. Come on.
But you can have that one.
So he didn't get put to sleep. He was exhaustion.
But either way, 2 shellackings like that take more out of you than getting a clean knockout sometimes.
Well, yeah. That's the argument. I mean, the only we're gonna find out. We don't know. He's been back once.
To be honest,
he's been back once, and that was against Robert Helenius. Knocked him out in 1 round. So we don't know. We don't know who Wilder is right now. That's the answer to that question. We don't know who he is. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that knockout?
It's Helenius being defensively irresponsible, left his head in the way, and he got smacked in the nose, and he was out like a candle in the wind.
I mean, for me, it's a former sparring partner.
Yeah. Well, it was one of his regular sparring partners.
Yeah, like it's a real, genuine, full-time sparring partner.
Yeah.
Knocked out in a round. I've heard people question whether the legitimacy of that knockout. I'm not really here to question it. Helenius has been knocked out plenty of times before. Gerald Washington knocked out Helenius.
I watched that fight.
So, I mean, we're not talking about... it's like the same old one-trick pony with Wilder. We'll put in a stiff. Yeah, he has got some level of power. He can knock out a sitting duck who has been knocked out before. We know that. So yes, you can do that. But you know, a lot of the people Wilder's knocked out, other people have knocked out quicker.
Well, Gerald Washington's not known as a knockout guy, but he knocked out Helenius.
Exactly. So like, that's why I'm not reading anything into that Helenius knockout.
Yeah.
So you knocked out your sparring partner who's chinny anyway. I mean, like, I don't actually believe the fight's happening until I see an official announcement as well.
Yeah, I think it's happening. I
hope so, but I've been here so many times before.
Yeah,
I've seen Hearn and Joshua get, you know, messed about by other opposing sides a lot of times.
Wilder has never been this this non-confrontational when asked about a fight with Anthony Joshua. He's never been this unconfrontational. Whenever Joshua fight was mentioned before, Wilder would get angry and he'd come up with a whole load of excuses. They don't want to fight. They don't want to fight the Bronze Bomber. They're trying to lowball me. They're trying to this, they're trying to that. He was always angry and confrontational. This time around, you know, Malik Scott's doing his talking for him, but he's sitting down there by the side. He's smiling. Wilder's smiling. He knows the name of the game now, prize fighting. He understands. He's made some money, some real money fighting Fury, and he likes it. And this time he wants it. I think it's going to happen. There's no doubt. Well, there's very little doubt in my mind that it's going to happen. I'm very comfortable with the notion that it's going to happen. I'm looking forward to this fight. Out of the two fighters, we know who has the most heart. The most heart, well, I guess the one who has the most heart is the one who's been fighting the real fighters. I think the one who has the most heart is the one who has been fighting the most top 10 fighters out of Joshua, Fury, and Wilder. I think Joshua's had more legit top 10 opponents than Fury and Wilder put together. So to me, that would be the one with the most heart.
I don't really know where heart's going to get you. I saw Wilder show an enormous amount of heart in the last Fury fight.
Yeah.
It didn't help him.
Took a beating.
You know, I'm not going to question Wilder's heart once he's in the ring, because I've never seen him run away from fighting. I've just seen him look shocked, shell-shocked, and at a complete loss as to what to do. And I think that's partly because he's been so heavily protected. The first time he actually had a real challenge, he had no idea what to do. And I haven't seen any change with that from the Helenius fight. Whereas if you want to question whether Joshua looks shook since he's been down from Klitschko, he's continued to fight top fighters since then, whether shook or not.
Yeah.
So if he is scared, he's still getting in the ring. How can you be brave if you're not scared?
AJ doesn't do so well with smaller fighters. Well, apparently, according to the tape, Deontay Wilder's got an inch on him, so he's a taller man. Joshua's goose is gonna get cooked in December. Well, you always say that. You were saying that in the last fight. You said, "Oh yeah, he's gonna gas now. Oh, he's gonna tie now. Oh, he's gas now. Oh, he's gonna get knocked out more." You were saying that through the last fight.
He's coming off like a win and a split decision. It's hardly like the most conclusive, terrible result. And if we want to talk about exhaustion, then you're going to say that Tyson Fury didn't really put Wilder's lights out in the third fight.
Yeah.
In the final round of the first Usyk fight, that is, if you look at the numbers and volumes of punches that have been thrown in that fight, for a 242 man to have actually thrown the number of punches Joshua threw, it's outrageous. Like, I can get the stats up if you want, but
no, some high numbers.
It's like a middleweight volume of punches being thrown.
There were some high numbers.
So yeah, he took a rest against the ropes. Maybe he was going to get put out, but he didn't get put out, did he? So we don't know.
No.
Was he exhausted? Probably.
Hmm.
I think that's what that was personally. And he was still able to dodge punches, so he had his wits about him.
He was still able to dodge the punches. And I've got to give a special shout out to the TKO22. And much thanks for the donation you gave the other day. Much appreciated. And don't forget, people, the super chat function is there for your use. Fury had heart pressure and let his hands go, risking his chin to beat Wilder. I don't know if AJ got it in him to take that approach. Well, that was his previous approach. That's the approach he used to take. He used to go in and put leather on people's faces.
Well, let's have a chat about this.
Taking them out.
Let's dissect what you're saying here, Mr. Coates. So in the second fight, Fury already felt Wilder's power. So maybe he didn't think it was real. Like I don't think it was real. If we go and look at how Fury approached Vladimir Klitschko, was that a fighter full of heart, willing to take risks and get hit? And then you go and compare that to the fight AJ had against Vlad. You know, we could do this, a lot of this. It's just a different fight. That's just all triangle theories. I don't really see what Fury's got to do with this. Fury has 100% got Deontay Wilder's number. Yeah. Although what I would say is he performed worse in the third fight than he did in the second fight. He got put down twice.
2 times.
So Fury's hittable. He's not this amazing moving target that maybe he was once. And maybe Wilder doesn't actually hit that hard because Fury got up both times. I mean, this is a man who's been put down by Nevin Pajkic.
Yep.
Steve Cunningham. So just because Wilder put him down doesn't mean to say that he's the most devastating knockout puncher of all time. There's nothing to say he's Sonny Liston or what's the guy from the 70s, Ralph? The biggest puncher of all time. I don't think he is. But...
yeah, I know. I visualize him with the tash.
Yeah.
The tash, yeah.
I just had a mental blank on it. You know, those guys, well, George Foreman is another good example of someone with outrageously proven power.
Yeah.
There's no actual Ernie. Thank you, Fight Doctor.
Yeah.
Ernie Shavers. They've got tangible evidence of people they've knocked out.
Yeah.
Who are top caliber heavyweights. Wilder couldn't put away Bermane Stavern.
Yeah, the first time, yeah.
Yeah, 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And he hit him with his right hand a lot of times.
For real.
So, are we really... I mean, if you go back and watch the first Ortiz fight, he put Ortiz down once and he got up.
Yep.
He had to wait for Ortiz to gasp before he knocked him out. A lot of Wilder's knockouts come late on when the opponent has gassed.
Yes.
Ernie Shavers could knock someone out in the second ring from nowhere while he's losing the fight.
All right.
George Foreman destroyed people with his power.
Yeah.
You know, when have we ever seen Deontay Wilder do to someone like George Foreman did to Joe Frazier?
Yeah. Same to Melbourne.
That was a world champion. Unified, lineal, undisputed world champion. Wilder's never even fought anybody like that.
Is the fight signed? The fight, to the best of my knowledge, is not signed. What I'm saying is that the signs are the best that they've ever been for this fight. I'm very confident. Anybody wanna make a super chat bet with me? Feel free to do so.
One thing I would say, Rafi, is
Yeah.
Because we've been down this road so many times. Make a fight in the summer.
Yeah.
Because if it does fall apart, at least you've kept yourself active.
Well, they're gonna have to have somebody the backup.
No, but he needs to be in camp now, or very soon.
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean? In camp now for the summer?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So don't worry about what's going on with all of this nonsense. I mean, I very much doubt they would fight Joe Washington in America. I very much doubt that's a reality.
Dillian White versus Jarrell Miller would be great. Yes, it would.
The shit talking would be amazing.
Jarrell Miller, that would be some.
Oh, just for the press conferences.
That would be some crazy press conferences. There'd be a fight because if he pushed Dillian White the way,
I'm not sure security's letting that happen because Dillian would go for him.
Yeah, definitely go for it. If he pushed Dillian White the way he pushed Anthony Joshua, there would be mayhem up on that stage. Mate, no doubt about it.
And I don't think Dillian would just be throwing punches if there were things he could pick up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he'd do a Chisora. He'd do a Chisora. There'd be a flying table. There's no doubt in my mind. So we definitely don't want to see that. Fury made hard work of the third fight. He most certainly did.
100%. And that's because he's at 270. He's not mobile.
That is true. I would like to see Dillian White versus. I'm not supporting any kind of Jarrell Miller fight. Let him work his way up slowly but surely. Let him prove himself.
Well, the thing is, though, Raf,
let him pass some drug tests. He's got a lot to prove to show that he's worthy.
Well, he'd have to be drug tested. Like the level of drug testing you would need to do would need to be the same level that Anthony Joshua was having because that's where he got for. So the first time Jarrell Miller's actually in some real drug testing, we found out what was going on. I always have my suspicions, not only because of his engine, but because of who he hangs around with. If you ever go on his Instagram, he's always in powerlifting and bodybuilder gyms where, you know, that type of abuse is rampant.
Yes.
But playing devil's advocate, I think it'd make a lot of money for Dillian. I think it would be a popular fight. And Dillian's not really in a commanding position at the moment. He needs to work his way back up as well. And why not just have the money fight? Because I think Dillian would beat him quite comfortably.
Yeah, naturally aspirated. One would imagine so. Yeah, I think so. But still, I'm not in favor of any big money fights with Jarrell Miller. Let him work it. Let him claw his way back up. Has
Mr. Coach been listening to what I've been saying about it?
Fury's the only man come out of a fight with Wilder who knew where he was at. I think if you're smart, you got to take something away from what he did. Yeah, that's what we've been saying.
I mean, if you go and rewind the tape, I actually said Fury put down the blueprint of what Stacey McKinley had already predicted he needed to do.
Yeah. Step into it. Step into the power.
And if you go to the back catalogue, we predicted this before the fight, Mr. Coates. Where were you then?
Yeah, well, you know, Derek Chisora needs to retire from boxing. I think most people would concur with that. Massive fan base, though, for Dillian White. That's what's helped him. Help him do what?
Dillian's done good numbers.
Sorry?
Dillian has done good numbers and made a lot of money.
Yeah, but that's what's helped him. What do you mean? What does that mean?
Well, I'm assuming that he means that Dillian sold a lot because he's got a good fan base. I mean, maybe that's an argument for him fighting Joshua, but I would be very unexcited about that fight, and I don't see it as very good. Like, Dillian doesn't fight anything like Wilder. He's crafty on the back foot. He's got crafty defensive moves. He's got a good jab in the sneaky left hand. It's not going to help you prepare for Deontay Wilder. And he's a man you conclusively knocked out. And if you go and fight Wilder, the Dillian fight's still there for you afterwards. If you really want to do it.
If you really want to do it. really people wanting to see his fights. Yep. I hear that.
I like Dillian's fight.
Yeah. I watch Dillian's fights. John Ryder, we're moving because we got a couple of other points we want to get through. John, well, no, we talked about that. We've done that. Okay, so John Ryder ready to upset Canelo Alvarez this Saturday. Okay, so it's on this Saturday. I think it's on the Zone. I think the Zone charged me £20 for the Joshua fight, even though I'm a monthly subscriber. Maybe there's some box that I've got to tick or whatever, so I've got to get into the Zone and remember.
Monthly subscription, right?
I think I'm a monthly subscriber, but they're charging £20 for it.
It's £20 every month unless you pay an annual subscription.
It's £20. Oh, unless you pay annually. Oh, okay.
I think they've had too many people dipping in and dipping out.
Oh, I thought the fact that I've been subscribed to them from the beginning.
They put up all monthly subscribers price to £20.
Okay.
But if you pay the annual fee,
you
get it at the original £8 or whatever it was.
Okay, I'll have to look into that and see what's going on. Okay, so John Ryder versus Canelo Alvarez. Real quick, like we're gonna steam through these. Who wins? I think Canelo wins, but John Ryder's a tough cookie, very experienced, and I think he'll be there to fight. They actually look like twins. I think they'll be there to fight, but ultimately, Canelo is going to win. He's going to take him out, or he could take him out late. But because Canelo's got a lot to prove. Okay, I'm going to say Canelo late stoppage of John Ryder. I know people can say, well, hold on a sec, Raf. Did you not see Ryder versus Smith, Callum Smith? I think Ryder won, Raf. Well, I think Ryder won too. And I think, didn't Callum Smith go the whole distance with Canelo? I think he went the whole distance with Canelo. And so you say, well, hold on. Ryder beat Smith, in my opinion. Shouldn't he do at least as well as Callum Smith? Well, Callum Smith's got different body dimensions. I think that Ryder being the same height, if not a little bit shorter than Canelo, I think Canelo's really gonna dig in. I think Canelo could stop Ryder with a body shot. I do like Ryder. I think he's a tough cookie and a seasoned boxer. But that is my pick, John D. Lee.
We just need a blonde one so we can have snap, crackle, and pop.
Yeah, it kind of twins separated at birth.
I like your prediction, Raf. I think that's a good prediction. Because Ryder does come to fight.
Yeah.
He's going to make it easy for Canelo.
Yeah.
And this type of weight, Canelo's power is real.
Yes.
And John Ryder's not a big super middle either, is he?
No.
So I like John Ryder. I scored John Ryder as the winner with the Callum Smith fight, but it was close. And I just don't. I think it's going to be about levels, and John Ryder's going to be in there. He's going to fight. He's going to acquit himself well, but I don't think he's going to see the final round.
Oh,
because the other thing is in Mexico, we might have a bit of a favourable stoppage for Canelo as well.
It is in Mexico. The fight is taking place.
The other problem they've got is it in Mexico City as well.
No, I don't think it's Mexico City. It's in Mexico though.
Let me check that, because if it's at altitude, he's got real problems.
Well, he's over there in the USA, acclimatizing apparently.
No, but like it's serious altitude in Mexico City, right?
Oh yeah, high altitude.
It's proper altitude, yeah.
What is it?
That's a big factor. It might not be. It might not be in Mexico City.
I don't think it is, but it might be. John Ryder fighters. Yeah, the gorilla. Where's it going?
No, it's not in Mexico City.
No. Not Mexico City. Okay, what's going on?
Is it in Canelo's actual hometown?
It might be.
Okay.
I thought it was in Guadalajara or something like that, but I don't know.
Well, isn't that his hometown?
It might be. What's this thing saying here? Where's the
It's Guadalajara, Rafa.
Guadalajara, boom. I think I read it somewhere. I read it somewhere. Did you watch the William Zepeda versus Jamie Arbola day? No, I didn't watch that either. Even though it's on the zone.
Everybody knows I'm strictly a casual.
Well, hey, maybe people have lives. People have lives, and yeah, I've got the zone. I could have just played it, but I didn't feel like it. I had things to do, other things to do. I can watch it in the next couple of days. That's not a problem. Okay, what else is on the thumbnail? Gotta put this out there. It looks like Tyson Fury is fighting Andreas the Ponce Ruiz next. OMG. Now, what's interesting to me is that we saw Anthony Joshua just basically get on his toes in the second fight and picked Andreas the Ponce Ruiz off. He picked him off, pecked at him, busted up his eye, split him like a roast hog, and beat him with ease in the second fight. Now, Tyson Fury is known for his tap, move around, tap some more. So it's very curious to me what the appeal of this fight will be. Where is the appeal? I really don't know. As we know, Tyson Fury could have fought Usyk, but he priced himself out of that fight. Zhilei Zhang's there. The big heavy-hitting southpaw could have had him. I think people would be more excited about that. But I think he's gone for the least exciting option. Zhilei Zhang's there with a big bang. Andreas the Ponce Ruiz did not look impressive against Areola. Did not look particularly impressive against Ortiz. And now he's going in there against Tyson Fury. I think we're just doing quick picks now. I think it's just pretty easy to see Tyson Fury just pecking away at Ruiz and winning by a large margin.
I want to play devil's advocate on that.
Go ahead.
When's the last time you've seen Tyson Fury move around like that?
Well, there's the counter argument. When was the last time I saw him do it? That would have been perhaps in the first Wilder fight.
Yeah. And I would argue he wasn't able to do it against Otto Wallin.
No.
Which is the last time he came in at around 250.
Mm-hmm.
He's not been able to do it since he's 270.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't think he needs to beat Andy Ruiz, to be honest. I see it being a bit of a sloppy cuddle fest, unless it goes the same way as the Dillian White fight. I could see something like that potentially happening for 12 rounds. But I don't see Tyson Fury moving around the ring and jabbing his head off. Because I haven't seen Tyson Fury do that for years now.
Yeah.
I've never seen him do it at 270 pounds. Ever. And I don't think he can get down to 250 pounds again. And I think he was weight drained and too depleted against Otto Wallin, which is why he got caught.
Yeah.
I mean, he got hit quite a lot. I mean, for someone who's supposed to be this elusive genius,
yeah,
he gets hit a lot, doesn't he?
Well, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see him get hit by Zhilei Zhang. I'd be more interested in seeing him get hit.
I'm not a fan of that. Dillian White fight had about 5 seconds of entertainment in it.
That was not a good fight.
So the prospect of 12 rounds of that, Raf, is a more damning indictment than anything else, I think I could say.
Yeah, 12 rounds. 12 rounds of that against who?
Against Ruiz.
Ruiz. I'd rather see him against Zhilei Zhang.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Zhang.
He's not going to fight Zhang, is he?
Nah.
See, I am very suspicious Tyson doesn't like fighting southpaws. I'd
like to see him against the southpaw in Zhang.
Well, the last time we saw him, his face was a mess, wasn't it?
Well. Yeah, Otto Wallin. Well, it should have been that fight. Should have been stopped. So that is real. Well, has that been signed? I don't know if it's real. I can't say.
No, it's not been signed.
It hasn't been signed, so I can't say it's real.
It's a rumor mill because there's also Andrew Ruiz's personal situation.
Well, Andrew Ruiz has posted it up. He's posted it up carefully, cherry picked, maybe a little tune-up fight for Canelo. Then a big name to follow. Yeah.
Maybe, but would you really pick John Ryder as a tune-up fight?
Cherry pick. Well, you could say it's cherry pick. I mean, I think Canelo's level is higher than John Ryder. I expect John Ryder to beat him. I don't know if John Ryder's a cherry pick for anybody, but I hear you.
He's also his mandatory contender. So, like, you know, everybody calls him Mando's soft fights, but then you have people like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder
who don't want to do it. Don't want to do them.
Yeah.
Ryder can
and look at the last time someone had a bit of a banana skin with a Mando. The Scottish guy, what's his name?
Josh Taylor.
Yeah. That was a mandatory defense, wasn't it?
Yeah, versus Catarral.
Yeah, no one called Catarral a chance.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks these Mandos are easy. You know, people don't get credit enough for fighting the mandatory challenges.
Yeah. Some of these Mandos are, they're more than worthy. If Ryder can dig deep, it could be interesting. Can't see him stopping Canelo, though. And he definitely isn't getting a chance on the judges' scorecard. Yeah. Not in Guadalajara, not nowhere in Mexico. Or even America. What do you mean? Forget about just Mexico, even America. Eubank versus Liam Smith 2. Your predictions, I'm going for Beefy. Well, Beefy's going to win again. There's no doubt in my mind. What's his name? Eubank. He just didn't take Beefy seriously enough now. Beefy's got the mental edge on him. And I don't think Eubank should be fighting Beefy again for a long time. But then he's 32, so how long would you want to wait? But no, with this new style, with his high volume style, he could have beat Beefy. But with this new kind of Roy Jones-esque style, nah. Beefy is just too good with the fundamentals. You don't have to be great at any one thing. You just have to be good at your fundamentals to win. And Beefy is good with his fundamentals. So that would be another win by Beefy. Probably another stoppage just later. Eubank He's all over the place right now. All over the place.
I mean, the only thing is, did that weight cut take anything out of him? The Conor Benn fight? Maybe, maybe not. The problem I've got with him is he's been playing with his food. Like he should have taken Liam Williams out quickly, but he didn't. And if you're not going to pull the trigger on Beefy, then you've had it, because he'll rough you up. If he's in trouble, he's gonna fight harder, not softer.
Yeah.
And if he needs to use some dark arts to make it, mess you up, he will.
Yeah, if he needs the elbow, he will deploy it.
Yeah, and I just, Chris doesn't take it seriously enough. He might have been once at one point more talented.
Yeah,
but he's not. He's squandered it.
He's squandered it. He's about 32 now.
I think it's a favourite saying of yours, Rafi.
Yeah.
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work.
There we go. Always the hard work, always the fundamentals. I've done various martial arts, and it always comes down to the fundamentals. I mean, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there's probably 1,000 moves, but you don't need to know 1,000 moves. You need to know. A master once told me that you need to have 4 techniques and be very good at them. That's all you need. You can survive with 4 good techniques. In boxing, that would be something like a jab. That would be the deployment of the backhand. That would be head movement. That would be parry. That would be footwork. Those things.
Just about to go in with that last one, Ralph.
Sorry?
Well, you said 4. We had 5, but you put footwork in.
Yeah. If
you'd have left footwork out, it would have been the problem.
Yeah. Footwork. I put in footwork, But those are the basic fundamentals, and the basic fundamentals in any sport, or actually anything. Someone with the basic fundamentals, a good command of the basic fundamentals, you're already halfway there. And when you omit the basic fundamentals, or if you think for a second that you are above the basic fundamentals, then I'm afraid you just need the guy. He doesn't even need to be special. Doesn't even need to be special. You're just a guy with the basic fundamentals. Sometimes that alone can see you through. Just have the basic fundamentals and be good at them. Really, really simple. You don't have to be a Sugar Ray Leonard. You don't have to be flashy. You just need the basic fundamentals. Junior gets him in the rematch. Hey, that would be fun watch. That'd be a fun watch.
I think he's got the capacity to get him. I mean, if he fought in a similar way to the way he fought with Liam Williams, but pulled the trigger, then by all means, it's possible.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that against Liam Williams.
Well, there you go. He's got to come with he's got to come with a whole new game plan. For Liam Smith, I think Liam Smith just got to come with his same, just come with the basic fundamentals and fight.
Well, the big thing is, Liam Williams is a fighter. When his back's up against the wall,
yeah,
I'm not convinced that Chris Eubank knows what to do.
Well, so my prediction for that fight is Liam Smith by KO, TKO, elbow, whatever it takes. Liam Smith stops Chris Eubank Jr. again, because you do yourself no favors when you don't come with your basic fundamentals and lose the first fight. You really do yourself no favors whatsoever. You put yourself. It's like a 100-meter race, and you got to start behind the other guy, a foot behind the other guy. That's how I see it. Don't mean you can't win, but you're just giving yourself a harder task than you needed to. Unnecessary. The elbow, indeed. The hellbow. What else is? Did you call that fight? Did you give your
Yeah, I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
Are we doing the Teofimo?
Are we doing the Teofimo thing? It's on the thing. It's on that thing there. It's on the thumbnail. What was the title? Teofimo. I have to do it. We have to do it. I'm getting tired, but we have to do it. It says so in the title. It will be remiss of us not to touch on that. So let's touch on that. Let me pull up. Hold on a second. I think I got some audio. Dude, Rafi got some audio. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I have. Let me see if I can navigate this thing here. Oh my God, I gotta show that. That was a proper, pardon my expression, but a piss take. Let's have a look. Let's just show you this. It's just popped up. Let's just show you this. Is always somebody out there trying to take the P. Why does it look like that? Because I must have done something wrong. So let's try again. Let's do it right this time. Okay, that's much better. Oh, shizzle my nizzle, shank on my nankle. Just seeing this, couldn't go past it. It was pretty outrageous. Or somebody out there trying to take the P. Okay. OMG. OMG. What a P take. What a P take. But let's stop sharing that. That was madness. And let's look for what I'm looking for. Okay, so actually I'll just read you the story and look for the audio in a second. Okay, so let's stop sharing that. Let's start sharing this. Where are we? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so Josh Taylor vows to decapitate Teofimo Lopez after controversial comments. Although it seems like Josh Taylor must have a short memory, because I seem to remember him making some controversial comments and him actually going to court for some pretty unsavory stuff. Pretty unsavory.
Wasn't that sectarian though, Rafi?
Well, it was.
I bring this up as technically.
Well, it was an Asian man. It was an Asian man. So
yeah, no.
I don't know if it was sectarian.
The context of what he was talking about.
The orange. You mentioned something about an orange man.
It could be referred to.
It could be. It could be.
Protestant stuff, which isn't.
Well, it could be, but I don't think the Asian man was a Protestant though. So I don't know.
No, but it's an insult in.
Yeah, it's an insult, but I think the Asian fella.
It doesn't really inciting sectarian violence isn't really a lot better.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think he was an Asian fella, so I don't know how he kind of he would draw him into.
Well, why would you call him an orange man then?
Well, trying to insult him, so you know. So
he's insulted him, and that is an insult if you're a Catholic in Scotland.
Yeah, but the Asian fella was a Catholic. So what I'm saying is that it appears that there was a racial element.
The thing is, I think he's a pretty right-wing individual anyway.
Yeah, I get that vibe.
I'm not a fan of him as a person outside the ring.
Well, he seems like a bit of he's an odd one. He's an odd one. Josh Taylor vows to decapitate Teofimo Lopez after controversial comments. Okay, so Josh Taylor. Well, forget about that bit. We're talking about Lopez. Why? Okay, so Lopez basically. Here's a comment. Okay, so Lopez told Punch Drunk Boxing, one thing I love about my sport is I can kill a guy and get away with it, so it's cool. Okay, we've heard that from Deontay Wilder, so nothing new. He also accused his broadcaster ESPN ESPN's analysts Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley have biased against him, as he said, all these mofos ride something and suck something. Sorry for my language, but that is the problem. I don't ride off that. And just to put it more on this fight, this is my last fight on ESPN. This is why this fight means everything to me. Everything to me. If they want black fighters, they can keep them, says Teofimo Lopez. And I think the general thrust of it is that Teofimo Lopez is he feels like he's not getting his fair shake. He feels like others does he feel like there's some it seems like he's suggesting there's some racial bias against him. I think it seems like he's suggesting that if you were a black fighter, you would get treated better. But I mean, to me, to put it in a nutshell, pure and simple, Teofimo Lopez, I mean, I have enjoyed his fights up until the last couple. When he was on it, when he was focused, you know, I am a fan of his fights prior to the last two. But when he went into the George Kambosos fight, and it looks like he was just going in there using brawn rather than skills and talents and trying to set him up and trying to trap him, tried to set traps. He wasn't doing that. He just went out for a brawl. He went out for a brawl and got stopped and got dropped rather in the first or second round. And he never really gained the upper hand after that. He did win some rounds. I haven't got my scorecard. I do recall him winning some rounds, but he never gained the overall upper hand in the fight, if I remember correctly. And that was his own doing. Just going out there thinking that he was just far too good for the cat, and he gets dropped. And then what happened? Okay, so he lost that. He lost his titles. And then who did he fight? Sandor Martin or someone else in between. And he's looked mediocre ever since. And he's been given a gift by Bob Arum, Top Rank, ESPN, in association with ESPN. He's been given a gift by this fight now against Josh Taylor. But Teofimo Lopez has been blaming everyone but himself and his team ever since he lost the George Kambosos fight. So why he needed to almost point an accusatory finger at black fighters, black analysts. They're just saying what everybody else is saying. And it's weird to me that he would make it about color. What's color got to do with it? There's some analysts who've been calling your fight accurately, and you've just been given a gift. You've just been given a gift. You've looked sloppy. You were in the ring. You were seen in the ring after your last fight. I think that was the Sandor Martin fight. And you were just leaning up against the ring when you thought the cameras were off. And he was just saying, I wonder if I still got it. Do I got it? Do I still got it? But he was saying it. I didn't screen record it. I didn't screen capture it. But it's out there. I watched it. I think I watched it live. I must have been up late for whatever reason. Then I must have looked at the time and said, oh, let me just tune on to that damn thing. I watched it live. Do I still got it? So Teofimo Lopez, marvelous talent. I have enjoyed his fights up until the last two. And then he just let it go to his head. And then Kambosos came and did the same damn thing that he did. People letting it go to their head. Why is he got to make it about color? Is beyond my comprehension. Very strange cat. John D. Lee.
I actually don't know what's wrong with him. We've heard him previously say that he's got African heritage of his own.
Say that again. You're going muffled again.
Sorry, Raf.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with him because in the past he's stated that he has African ancestry.
Okay.
His sister, I think her partner's actually.
She's married to a black man, according to the father.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's a Hispanic black man or African American.
Yeah, whichever.
It doesn't really matter. It's all the same difference.
Yeah.
If this is just because you've directed stuff, I mean, it doesn't really make any sense. Top Rank don't really promote black fighters very well.
No, it's ridiculous.
Like, they really don't. I mean, you just had arguably the #1 pound per pound fighter on Top Rank, Terence Crawford, be really badly treated.
Yeah.
And not pushed and not given the Manny Pacquiao fight and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people feel that Top Rank are anti-black fighters, and some of the things that Bob Arum has come out and said is, I don't know if they're quite as racist as what he said, but I mean, they're pretty bad.
Bob Arum does, if anything, seems non-appreciative more than appreciative.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing. So he's deluded on that. If it's to do with what the commentators have said, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Andre Ward's commentary. I think he's very biased.
Yeah.
But on this occasion, he's pretty spot on. Timothy Bradley normally, he's not too bad. He's still a company man, but I mean, he's fairly objective.
Yeah.
Like company man standards. And the facts are, you've been performing badly. Like, if they're going to let you go, you don't bring in numbers, you're not winning, you don't have a belt, and you try to do them over for the Cambosis fight and take it elsewhere while you run the contract. So this is, you've made your own bed, and instead of trying to blame everybody else, and in the process make yourself, well, be racist in public.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's got to come from somewhere. Why are you even thinking about this? Hasn't really, like, if you really go through everything, probably most of the greatest fighters of all time have been African American. If you're going to go through the list,
right?
But what's that got to do with anything?
Yeah,
like, it makes no difference to your personal situation whatsoever.
Exactly.
And we're not talking about a promotional outfit that's very good at promoting. I mean, the only black fighter Top Rank have successfully promoted to his full potential is probably Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
They had a kind of at Sugar Ray Leonard's convenience type of relationship, because Sugar promoted himself, really, didn't he?
Yeah.
And after that, who have they had?
Oh.
So it's like a child blaming everybody else for their own things that they've done.
Yeah.
And going into a fight against somebody in a higher weight class who's got proven ability, it's not a very good place to be.
Well, it looks like he's thrown Josh Taylor a lifeline. Josh Taylor was supposed to be rematching Catterall, who I think beat him, and many people believe beat him. But with one thing and another, through various machinations, oh, I'm injured, or I'm this, I'm that. Yeah, I'll fight you, now I'll fight you next, now I'll fight you after the next one, whenever. He's managed Josh Taylor, very talented guy, but I thought he got beat by Catterall. I thought the decent thing would have been to rematch him. It hasn't happened yet, but now he's getting Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez, who's a fighter I have enjoyed when he was really on the grind before it went to his head, before he had marital issues, before his wife left him and took his young son, baby, toddler. Did that play with his head? He could have done. But he ain't been right since he got beat by, well, since he got, even before Cambosis. You know, he ain't been right. But why he needs to point the finger everyone other than himself is just a lack of awareness. It's a lack of awareness. It don't seem to be getting better because this also is a lack of awareness. Very foolish. I feel sorry for the cat. I hope he can get his head straight and understand that a large part of one's destiny is in one's own hands. Stop looking outwardly and maybe start to look at the man in the mirror. Okay, that's what I got to say about that. We don't have any polls up. I think we have completed the mission.
100%, Raf.
Yeah, we completed the mission on knackered now. I think I'm gonna have a nice hot drink, and then I shall head for the master quarters. And turn in. I think I'm gonna have an early night, just unwind a little bit first after the show and turn in. John Daly, it's been good to have you. Great to have you share your thoughts and observations in your final words, please. The John Daly.
Thanks for having me, Raf. I appreciate you doing the show. And I think it was a good show. Hopefully people enjoyed it.
I think so. I hope people enjoyed it. Thank you very much, John Daly. Thank you very much for giving your time. Very entertaining. Sad to see a young fighter go out like this. I hope he gets his head right. Because I have thoroughly enjoyed his performances up until the last couple. It seems like he's lost. You know what I mean? I hope he can find himself again. I really do. I hope he can get straight because he's a talent. Talent is there for sure. He just needs to get his act together. Okay. So we've done it. It's been a long day for the Rafi. Thanks to everybody who took time out of your day to come on over to the original wrap-up show on the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Be sure to check out the videos. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button. I hope you've all had a very good bank holiday over here in the UK and you had a good day wherever you may be. The only thing left for me to say is blessed.